anyway. That was your bit on the side. You were saying? What?
June, don't make it more difficult. I'm trying not to hurt you.
Oh, great. And do I tell that to your wife when I phone? What? Morning, Sarge.
Morning, June. Is it warm in here, or is it my imagination?
It's warm in here.
I think so. Yeah, that fella.
Fella?
The fella I saw you in the car with outside. I know him from somewhere. Well, it's none of my business, wasn't he?
You're right, Sarge. It's none of your business.
Oh.
Morning, Taff.
Aren't you supposed to be on the front desk?
Yes, Sarge.
What you doing here, then?
Well, Roberts is still dealing with someone. It's a dodgy one.
Always an excuse with you, isn't there?
What's it with him? No idea.
They did what?
Slashed me tyres during the night. 2 of them. 2 of me tyres. I only got 1 spare, so I had to get a taxi in, didn't I? I thought it was yobs, you know, like growing-up yobs.
Eh?
Who slashed me tyres, but then I thought, no, it must be kids. Neighbourhood kids.
Can you put a name to any of them?
Well, no, but I
Not
think
much
if
to
I...
go on, then, have you?
Good night. Or a bad one?
Average. So, what's the difference between me and someone who's trying hard not to become an alcoholic?
I've got no idea, Sarge.
Well, someone who's trying hard not to become an alcoholic will do their best to deny that they are fully dependent upon the regular intake of alcohol.
But you don't deny it, right?
That's fine. John James Bright.
Yeah?
You remember him?
Yes?
You were the first to question him after the attack on that Meredith child.
Yeah, but only because he was the first person to come forward and offer any information.
Yeah, and you know, I never liked him for that.
For what?
Well, for stepping forward, for volunteering information before we'd even asked for it.
Oh, but surely he was only...
Well, surely he was what? You a good citizen?
If you like, yeah.
So what did you think of him? Did you like him?
Not particularly, no.
I didn't. I hated him. Still do.
But there was no evidence against him.
Yeah. And yet he was there in Providence Park that night. Why? It's hot in here. 2 kids have died since then. 2 little girls. One in Raynham, and one on Canvey. Oh, there's nothing to go on, of course. There never is with clever gits like that. But Essex have asked me to get him in here again and have a chat. I'll give him a bit of a tug.
Who, Bright?
I'd like to have gone in early and dragged him out of bed. Half awake, half aware. But you can't do that these days. So I'm the one who's got to get up early. A lot of homework to catch up on. When we get Bright in here, I'll stick him in the interview room for a while. That's when you can go and have a chat with him.
Me?
Well, you know, I'll stick your head round the door, a few kind words, routine. You don't mind, do you?
No, I don't mind.
Thanks. You'll make CID yet?
Don't want it, thanks.
Get some fresh air in here, will you?
So what do I do?
I don't know, do I?
I don't have to move, do I?
So, I mean, staff from Mechaline are coming in at 10:15 for that fingerprint elimination.
Oh, right. How many of them?
8 or 9.
OK, fine. So,
Okay.
I mean, I could move out to Essex, but I don't want to go all the way out there. I certainly don't want to sell my motor and buy an old banger.
Look, I've already said I don't know, all right?
Yeah.
Because these are things you've got to sort out for yourself, right?
All right.
Fine, because I've got too much on my own plate at the moment. Far too much. Is that understood?
Perfectly.
Good. I'll see you.
There you are, then.
So, John James Bright. What do you want to talk to him about?
I want to talk to him about the new evidence.
What new evidence?
The new evidence that's just come in.
But no new evidence has come in, has it?
No, but he doesn't know that, does he?
Are you being attended to?
Not at this precise moment in time, no.
Coffee? Are they getting you a coffee?
I doubt it.
Right. I'll get you one. You know, we met before. Do you remember?
No.
It was out by Providence Park about 5 months ago. A little girl had been attacked. You came to me with some information.
Did I?
Yes. Very useful information, actually.
Oh, yes. I think I remember. Have they caught him yet? Whoever did it?
Unfortunately, no. Right, I'll get you that coffee.
Right. As you will recall, some months back, you were helpful to us when you provided us with some information concerning the attack on 9-year-old Susan Amanda Meredith.
That's right.
Also, at that time, we were obliged to regard you, with others, may I hasten to add, as a possible suspect. Later, I was made aware that there was no apparent evidence against you.
Which you should have known all along.
I did say there was no apparent evidence
Oh?
at that time.
And now? You're saying there's evidence now?
No.
So what are you saying? Maybe you can tell me. What's he saying?
I am saying that we now have some new evidence that tends to cut across everything you told us earlier. You could almost say that it contradicts your original evidence. As a matter of fact, Mr. Bright, it makes you sound like a liar.
All right. So what is this new information?
Well, before we tell you that, and before we go any further...
Before we go any further, I'd appreciate the opportunity of talking to somebody else, okay?
Somebody else?
Yes, because I don't need this. I don't need you. I come here, right, because I don't mind helping the police. I always have, and I always will. And I don't mind being dragged along here.
Invited here.
That's right, son. You try and be what you're not and never will be. You try and be clever. All I'm saying is I don't mind being brought here against my will. But what I do mind, and always will mind, is being asked questions by someone who's trying his best to look like the town drunk. Here you are. It's wash and brush up week. Treat yourself.
Anyway, Mr. Bright, what we intend to do at this stage, and I'm sure you'll correct me, Sarge, if I'm wrong.
It's no good, old son, because that old sweet sour number don't do a lot for me. One having a go, one keeping the peace. I mean, that's been tried for years. Back to Hendon for you, old son. Or was that before your time?
What we intend to ask you, Mr.
What you intend to ask me is whether or not I wish to make any changes to my original statement as a witness.
Well, do you?
No.
No. Well, look, if you're not prepared to talk about it, then I'm going to have to take things into my own hands. Well, why don't you meet me from work about 2 o'clock? Yes? Hello?
No luck.
Not yet, no.
Well, that was on the cards, Ted. You knew that.
And yet he came forward, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't make him a...
He came forward. He stepped right up out of the blue. That's why he's under suspicion.
No, sorry. Wrong tense. Was under suspicion. He was there at the scene, same place, give or take a couple hundred yards at the same time, give or take half an hour. But he said he didn't do it, and that has been accepted.
Not by me.
Yes, but it has by those that matter.
This kid and the other 2 who have died since. Those are the ones who matter.
Only a process of elimination. Nothing to be worried about. My old mum's had her fingerprints taken in this establishment. Oh, Alec.
Look, I don't want to hear any more about your motor, all right?
What motor?
That's final.
I wasn't going to mention the motor.
There you are. Nice cup of coffee. Is something wrong?
Yes. You are. You're wrong.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Well, I don't remember you from before.
Oh, yeah, that.
You see, you're not the kind of female one does remember, are you? I mean, you must know this yourself. You must realise you haven't got a lot going for you. And if you hadn't got it then, you certainly haven't got it now. Not 6 months later. You're old before your time, girl. Never mind. Make a lovely cup of coffee.
Alec. A word.
Look, you've been having a go at me all morning. What's it all about?
Sunday.
Hey?
Yesterday, Sunday. Sunday morning, first thing, it started then.
Well, what did?
All of it. I mean, to begin with, I didn't get my cup of tea in bed. Now, I always get my cup of tea in bed on a Sunday morning, 7:45 on the dot. I have done for years.
But not yesterday.
Didn't get any tea at all. I mean, she wasn't going to make it. There's no way I was.
Your wife?
Yeah. Then she locks me shed up and throws the key away. She knows I like to go in there on a Sunday and potter about for an hour or two. I have done for years.
Great. So your wife decides to stick up for herself just once, and then you come in there the next morning and have a go at us.
Of course, there was me Sunday dinner. Didn't even get that. Completely put me off my snooker. Then there was my Sunday pint. That didn't taste right either.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be in trouble. 2 coffee breaks already this morning.
Right, I won't shock you. How was it?
What?
Your little chat with John Bright?
Well, he didn't exactly make a confession.
No, but then again, he wouldn't.
And you're right. The man's a toad. A nasty, snidey, arrogant little toad.
Did he say something to hurt you?
Me? No.
Only he's good at that.
Nobody hurts me just with words, ever.
Of course not.
And the man's a wrong 'un. I can tell. And I'm a pretty good judge of character. It's the one thing I am good at.
Yeah, I know that. That's why I asked you to go in there and talk to him.
Yeah, well, I talked to him.
And yet you've told me nothing.
Nothing?
No, just you've been sitting there just feeling sorry for yourself.
I am not feeling sorry for myself.
When all I wanted was an assessment.
Yeah, well, I've given you one,
Yes,
haven't
but
I?
what kind of a toad?
Look, I've already said.
The kind that could murder a child, in your eyes?
Oh, well, I don't know that, do
Look,
I?
I need a
Well,
response.
then go and get one from your suspect, not from me.
I'm sorry, June. I've been playing his game. Just testing.
Thanks very much.
That's what she looks like. Little Susan Meredith. Pretty little thing, isn't she? Nice little smile there. She won't be smiling like that for a while, though, will she? If at all. Not after what she's been through, right? And she never saw her attacker. And that is a pity. That would have been helpful to all of us. You been to Canvey Island lately, Mr. Bright?
I've never been to Canvey Island.
You've got an auntie who lives there, at Lee Beck.
I've still never been there.
What about Raynham?
No, I don't go a lot on Essex.
Now, in your original statement as a witness, you said that you were walking in Providence Park at around about 6:30 p.m. on the evening of Thursday, the 4th of October.
That's right.
Yeah. And that you saw an estate car, which you think was a Ford Cortina, drive along at speed across the park.
Yes.
You then went on to say that the car had no lights on, you were not able to identify the occupant or occupants, and you could not see the registration number of the vehicle clearly, apart from the letters A and O.
Yes.
Do you wish to make any changes to that part of the statement?
No.
As you can imagine, it was important for us to trace that car.
Really? Now that is surprising.
Fortunately, we did trace it. At last.
From what I told you, it's not possible.
Why not?
I didn't see enough, did I? Didn't see enough of the car.
Nevertheless, we have managed to trace it.
Then you've got whoever did it, haven't you?
No. All we've got are a couple of joyriders who were in a stolen car that evening. But those joyriders at least told us something of interest.
What?
Well, that your sense of timing is up the spout, Mr. Bright. Because they drove across the park at least 45 minutes earlier.
No.
I'm sorry, the answer is yes. They drove across the park and they saw you, Mr. Bright.
No, not me.
Yes, you. They said they almost ran you over. They saw you clearly. They even described you. And do you know where they saw you? Close. Very close to where little Susan Amanda Meredith was attacked, sexually assaulted and left for dead. And 45 minutes earlier would have been round about the time when this brutal, sickening attack took place. Give or take a few minutes. Now, I'll ask you again, Mr. Bright. Do you wish to reconsider your original statement as a witness?
And I'd like you to remember something. That's all I am and all I ever have been, just a witness. Because I've already told you I don't need this.
No?
No. And this place offends me, you know? The smell of this place, the smell of you people. Old cigarette smoke and last night's booze. That's you, isn't it? And who needs that? I don't.
And what kind of smell do you prefer? Tell us. Do you prefer the clean linen smell of little girls? Is that it?
You what?
The apple smell, the ice cream smell, the sugar and spice and all things nice smell. Is that what you like, Mr. Bright? Is that what you enjoy?
No!
Then what?
I didn't know, did I? I got it wrong.
Got it wrong? Got what wrong?
The sound. I was listening to the wrong sound. I go there, don't I? I usually go there to the park. That's what I was doing there, nothing else. I go there to listen to couples.
Couples?
Courting couples. In the dark. I like to hear the sounds they make.
So why didn't you tell us this before?
I came forward, didn't I?
But you didn't tell us this.
Yes, well, things like that, you save things like that till last, don't you?
Now, let me get this straight. You're telling us that you were standing there in Providence Park that evening.
Yes.
Standing there listening.
But I didn't know, did I? I didn't realise it was the wrong sound. I thought it was the sound of, well, people enjoying themselves, you know. I didn't realise it was the sound of a kid being attacked, being assaulted. I mean, there are different kinds of screams, right?
He still didn't do it, Ted. Oh, that's we've learned a bit more about him, but he still didn't do it. And the fact that he likes listening to couples having it away in the park doesn't make him out to be a murderer. In fact, it doesn't make him an head case in this day and age.
No.
So what's all this about new evidence? We haven't got any new evidence.
But he was there. He just said he was standing there. He could have helped the girl.
But he didn't, and that's the way it is, Ted. Listening is not a crime. And you've got to let him go now. Once and for all, understand? Because there's nothing else he can tell us.
Oh, all right, let him go.
That's it then, is it? I'll go home.
Yeah. You go home.
And the fella you're looking for?
We'll find him. Someone will find him.
And when you do, what happens to me?
We'll come looking for you again. You're still a witness.
I've been meaning to ask. How old are you? And you look as if you're pushing 50, yet you're still only a DC.
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of troubles.
I'm not surprised with the people you have to work alongside. I'm a family man. I reckon you're well and truly into being a family man, am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
And kids. A lot of kids, I'd say, just by looking at you. Thought so. You look the type.
And what type's that?
A loser, of course. And someone stuffed by his own marriage, with nothing left to do but bang away at some old dog of a wife.
Come here! Now get in there! Now, if you're winding me up, you're winding up the wrong person, because I've got 5 kids of my own. And as far as I'm concerned, any perv who hangs around listening while some little child... You what?
I said I saw him. He walked past me.
Who walked past you?
The fellow who did it, who attacked that kid.
Did you see his face?
Yes.
Ted?
Alec. When you get home, are you going to sort it out?
Sort what out?
Well, your domestic situation.
I reckon that's my business, don't you?
Oh, not at the moment. No, the way you're behaving is everybody else's. What's that for?
Yorkie, Sarge. Some silly stuck one on him.
Oh, that's all we need.
Yeah, have a clean one. Oh, good.
So what's wrong with the first aid box in here?
It's empty. Here.
I knew it were going to be one of them days.
Well, get him into the surgeon's room, eh?
Come on.
She took a swing at him.
Who took the swing at him?
There, in there.
I told you you ought to try smiling at people now and again.
Well, it's all down to winning or losing, isn't it? And like I told your mate, whenever you find the person responsible, I'm still going to be put up as a witness.
Yes.
Apart from which, you're never going to stop hounding me, are you?
No.
Right, then. When he finished doing what he was doing to the kid, he walked past me. He saw me. I surprised him, but he still walked on past me. Only he looked me straight in the eye. And he knew I wasn't going to say a word because he had realised why I was there. And he had a bit of a smile to himself. And that smile told me, you're not going to talk, old son, because I know what you're doing here. Only I'm talking now.
Then describe him.
And that's why I had to come forward in the first place. Not to say it all, but to say some of it. Say enough to cover for myself.
I said describe the man.
I don't have to describe him. I know him. He's a neighbour.
Name?
And it's not too late. I've seen him around. He's still around.
It is too late. It's a couple of little kids too late. So just give us the name, all right?
Beale. Raymond Beale.
Come on, clear off, will you? I said clear off! Go on.
You want to live?
Yeah.
June, can I drop you somewhere?
No thanks.
Right, see you tomorrow then.